ఈరోజు వరల్డ్ హాస్పైస్ అండ్ పాలియేటివ్ కేర్ డేగా స్విమ్స్లో ఈ అవగాహన కార్యక్రమాన్ని నిర్వహిస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ముఖ్యంగా క్యాన్సర్లో చాలామంది మొదటి స్టేజెస్లో కాకుండా చివరగా వచ్చినప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి మనం పూర్తిగా నయం చేసే అవకాశం ఉండదు. ఏదో కొంత కాలం ఇంకా జీవితం ఉంటుంది, రకరకాల ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. అలాంటి వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ ఆయుష్ ఉన్నదాకా వాళ్ళ జీవితాన్ని తక్కువ కష్టాలతో వీలైనంత ఆనందమయంగా గడపడానికి కోసం ఏర్పాటు చేసే ప్రక్రియనే పాలియేటివ్ కేర్ అంటారు. ఇది మన బాలాజీ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంకాలజీ సందర్భంలో ఇది ఒక ప్రత్యేకమైన సర్వీస్ కింద స్విమ్స్లో అందిస్తూ ఉన్నాం. అలాగే కేవలం క్యాన్సర్లోనే కాకుండా గుండె బాగా దెబ్బతిన్నప్పుడు, అంటే ఎండ్ స్టేజ్ హార్ట్ డిసీజ్ అని, కిడ్నీ బాగా దెబ్బతిన్నప్పుడు ఎండ్ స్టేజ్ కిడ్నీ డిసీజ్ అని, ఎండ్ స్టేజ్ లివర్ డిసీజ్ అని, అలాగే కొంతమందికి బాగా బ్రెయిన్ స్ట్రోక్ వచ్చి రికవర్ కాకుండా ఉన్నప్పుడు కానీ, ఇలాగా కొన్ని రకాల జబ్బులకి ఎక్కడైతే మనము క్యూర్ అనేది అందించలేమో అలాంటప్పుడు వాళ్ళని వాళ్ళ మానాన వాళ్ళ కర్మకు వదిలేయకుండా వాళ్ళకి మిగిలినటువంటి జీవితాన్ని వీలైనంత సుఖమయంగా చేయడం కోసం ఉద్దేశించిందే ఈ పాలియేటివ్ కేర్. దీంట్లో ఫిజిషియన్స్, సర్జన్స్, రేడియోథెరపిస్ట్, నర్సెస్, సైకాలజిస్టులు, ఫిజియోథెరపిస్టులు, ఈ రకంగా ఇది ఒక 7-8 మంది స్పెషలిస్టులు కలిసి ఈ సర్వీస్ని స్విమ్స్లో అందిస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ఈ రోజు ఈ పాలియేటివ్ కేర్ డే సందర్భంగా ఈ అవగాహన కార్యక్రమాన్ని నిర్వహించి ప్రజలందరూ కూడా స్విమ్స్ అందిస్తున్నటువంటి ఈ ఒక చక్కటి కార్యక్రమాన్ని తమ బంధువులు మొదలైన వారు, ఎవరి స్నేహితులు ఎవరికైతే దీని అవసరం ఉంటుందో దాన్ని హితోధికంగా వాడుకోవాల్సిందిగా ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాను.
Warm welcome to this exciting CME on palliative care. My professor and mentor, Professor Venugopal, whom we lost recently, asked me this question: what is a curative operation in cardiac surgery? We said a few. He said no, there is only one PDA, head inductus arteriosus, rest all the cardiac surgery is palliative. It was very profound statement coming from him. That's when I heard first about the palliative care. Then in 94, when I was in UK, I was making rounds in the thoracic ward, and we admitted a late stage 4 carcinoma lung. The morning when I went to make rounds and said, "Mr. John, how are you?" He said, "Champion." I was surprised. Somebody with a stage 4 cancer admitted with some malignant pleural effusion and for some palliative treatment was saying he is champion. Then something struck me. There is something different in this man and also something different in the English system, where the man can say he is doing well despite stage 4. Then as my experience progressed in UK, a lot of patients whom we are about to kind of terminally ill and we counsel the family, with this violence which we see in some parts of our country nowadays, it was not there. But one thing which a lot of people used to ask was, is he painless? Kindly see that he or she is painless and comfortable. That's the only wish from the family. That wish summarizes the goal of palliative therapy. Then after coming back from England, had my father, who had a end-stage heart disease, was running with a 14-15% ejection fraction. Sometimes it drops to 10%, he used to become acute breathless and all. In the house itself, we used to start some dopamine and all, and he used to recover within a few hours. Like that, we maintained him for 3 years with a very good quality of life, kind of a home palliative care kind of a thing. That was when we used to think, because he was my father, though we were not trained professionally in palliative medicine, how his spirits can be kept up, how physically he can be made comfortable, how he can lead a reasonable good social life. So that is when I learnt a lot about the palliative care. This is one aspect of the story. Today I chose to speak a few thoughts and a few observations of mine on the traditional Indian system of palliative care. You know, in the history, you must have heard about the epic war of Mahabharata. Then Bhishma Pitamaha gets stuck very badly on 10th day of the war, and he is on the bed of arrows, and for his own whatever reasons, he chooses to be like that for 3-4 months from that day when he was stuck, with arrows all over the place, bleeding, in pain, with a potential for infection, battle going around. You can imagine the scenario. So this Indian system kept him alive for good 3-4 months in that scenario. So that bears, at least I can recollect, that's one of the very eminent examples of palliative care in Indian thought. Then, when we come to the recent times, you all must have heard about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He had a very bad throat cancer. He was suffering. So a lot of his, at time, late 19th century, the oncology was not so very well developed. So they used to give some kind of pain medication, etc. But the quality of life was very poor. Including Swami Vivekananda prayed to him, you are nothing but God, you can ask Kali Ma to cure this all. So 2-3 times he refuses, 4th time he goes into, and then prays, and everybody is very happy, he must have prayed and he will get cured. He comes out and says, I did ask Mother Kali, but she said, what if you are unable to eat food, all other people, you are the one who are eating through their mouths, isn't it? We have very profound thinking, so he couldn't do it. Then, when he was getting closer to the death, one of the young brahmacharis asked him, how are you feeling? He said, it's very painful, it's all, troubling me a lot and all that. But the young brahmachari said, no sir, you don't look, you are suffering, you appear to be in bliss. So, Paramahamsa laughed at him and said, this rascal could assess my correct state of mind. He was in that higher realm of consciousness where whatever is happening to the body, he could dissociate from it. So it is the body who was paining, not the true himself of Paramahamsa. So that is what summarizes the Indian system of palliative care. You find a similar thing with Ramana Maharshi also, who had a cancer, who had a similar kind of a attitude. So what does this teach us? Can everybody become like that? You saw I told you about my father. My father was not a big saint or anything. He was an ordinary householder. He used to, but he was a very ardent follower of Jagadguru Shankaracharya. And as we go further, I will tell you some techniques how we could maintain that kind of a equality. For those of you who are interested in this palliative care in the Indian context, I recommend you two important books. One is the Yoga and Cancer. This is publication, it's available in Amazon. It's published by a university, Yoga University, which is located in Munger. Munger is in Bihar, which is supposed to be the capital city of Karna, the Mahabharata hero. So in that Munger there is a university called Bihar School of Yoga, which subsequently was converted into a university, where they are doing with advanced equipment and a lot of doctors all over the international community working on the yoga and various aspects, among which one of the significant research outcomes is this book on yoga and cancer. Similarly, there is another book by another big Vedic university. You must have heard, at least the seniors must have heard about Mahesh Yogi, who popularized a technique called transcendental meditation. There is a huge amount of scientific work done on transcendental meditation. The name of the book is very simple. You pick it up on a weekend. It's so beautiful. You read it by weekend you will complete the book. It's called Science of Being and Art of Living. So that art of living, Ravi Shankar ji is one of his students. So he picked up the later part of it and established this institution called Art of Living. So these two books are very, very important. Then going straight into the Indian perspective, there are several ways how we approach the palliative care. Because we don't consider human being just as one physical body. We consider him as different sets. What Upanishad describes as Annamaya Kosha is the physical body. Pranamaya Kosha is all your vital energy and forces, life force. Then you have Manomaya Kosha, the feeling part of it. Then the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the thinking part of it. Then the Anandamaya Kosha are the blissful part. So people advise different kinds of yogasanas and all to increase the physical well-being. And those who cannot do the formal because of terminal illness, there are other equally powerful physical exercise called pranayama, called Sukshma Vyayama, which generate a lot of life force in the body, and you feel much better after doing them for about 20 to 30 minutes. They are very easy to teach, very easy to learn, practice. One of those systems I have been adopting for more than 25 years now, and if I do that every day, I am sure I can go for an 8-hour sprint without any water, any other thing. I can go and work for a long operation for 8 hours. They are so powerful, they are very simple. That's a very good value addition to palliative care. The second important thing is, when you go further in, we're talking about the vital sheath or pranamaya kosha, where you have a range of pranayamas. Pranayamas, people usually see only about meditation. But there are pranayamas which generate prana shakti so that See, most of the time the depression, the anxiety, they are all because your energies are low. So there are pranayamas like Kapalabhati, etc., which will generate more prana, and other techniques help to distribute that prana across the body, so that after the practice there is a general level of well-being. The other very good practice brought out, researched and resurrected by the Bihar School of Yoga is called as Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is not just sleep. It's a kind of a twilight state, kind of what, to be precise, it is a conscious dreaming. You will dream. So that is produced consciously. Similarly, meditation is a conscious deep state. Whatever is your mind state, if you can produce it consciously, that becomes the highest part of meditation called samadhi, whereas the conscious dream state is the yoga nidra, wherein you take a sound stimulus and rotate your awareness throughout different parts of the body. So at the end, you are taken to a very relaxed and very profound state of calmness. So that is another very powerful tool. It is a tantric tool. People think bad about tantra, but tantra techniques are very, very powerful, more powerful than the routine yoga techniques. So this is one. Then comes your thought process. This is up to this. Then how do you modulate your emotions and your thoughts? Then the story becomes complete. For that, I tell you a small story from the life of Buddha. One of the monks, younger monks in training, asked Buddha, "You say life is sorrow, but you say your teachings are going to take us out from sorrow. But I realize you are becoming old, on and off you are becoming diseased. I am sure one of the days you may die. So where is the solution? You are yourself are suffering." Then Buddha thinks for a couple of minutes and gives a profound statement which forms the basis for the palliative care. He says, whenever there is sorrow, he says you are struck by two arrows. One is the first arrow is the physical arrow, whatever disease or injury or whatever you have. More important than the first arrow is the second arrow, which is your reaction to the illness or the injury. So, if to the suffering, the first arrow contributes 10-15%. The second arrow contributes 85 to 90% to the suffering of any injury or disease. So by my techniques of meditation and lifestyle management, you reduce that 80-85%. So you cannot eliminate sorrow, but you can definitely bring it down to a manageable levels. That is what is the soul of palliative care. So after that, I tell you a couple of techniques which are generate a kind of a profound dissociation. See, generally, when we say, "Who are you?" we show the body. We say, and what are your, when you are asked to describe, you describe your achievements, your house, your earnings, your car, your doings. So essentially we identify ourselves with our body and the mind. But the Hindu system says there is much deeper than that. Because when you grow, there is a sense of I when you are small. Your body has changed, your emotions have changed, your thinking has changed, still you call I. So they say you explore what is that I through the different stages of life, what they call in the technical terms as Atma. So the approach, the Indian approach to palliative care is to find the difference between this. So they have coined a term called Drusya Viveka. There is a seer in us, the so-called I, who is watching all this, and rest all, what you see here, even the body, even the mind, that you are watching, like a Sakshi. So that is all the phenomenal this way. So whatever your problems, you ask where is it coming? Is it in the Sakshi, Druk, or it is in the Drishyam? Drishyam is the what you are seeing, the seer and the seen. So the problems are in the seen. So wriggle after that scene, concentrate on the seer, you develop a very healthy detachment from what is happening, like what happened to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Ramana Maharshi. Similarly, can you achieve for routine people like us? Can we achieve? Yes. There is one more important technique. A lot of people know about the Omkara Dhyana, but the problem is we only concentrate on the physical aspect of chanting Om. So the importance is what does Om stand for? There is one Upanishad called Mandukya Upanishad with only 12 mantras. It is the smallest of the Upanishads, which deals with the nature of Omkara and it relates to stages of consciousness. So I will take just 2 minutes to explain the basics and then tell you the technique. The Om letter, if you analyze, it has 3 components: A, U and Ma, and beyond that there is a gap. Okay? This A stands for the physical or the gross point, and also it represents the wakeful consciousness. We are all now awake, hopefully, and that represents that wakeful consciousness. The U part represents our Sukshma Sarira and also represents the dreamy consciousness. I mean, in our scientific medical language, if you want to say, that is the REM sleep, where you are asleep but you are dreaming. There is no physical body, but there is an entire world of imagination going on your brain. So who represents that? Ma represents the deeper state. Deeper state in the sense, sometimes we sleep profoundly, get up in the morning and say, oh, I had a very good sleep, very deep sleep. Your deep sleep, there is no mind, no sense organs. What is watching you? Who said that you had a good sleep? That means even in the deep sleep, there is some tiny level of consciousness which is aware of what was happening. So that is the deep sleep. Ma represents that. Then when you see the total phenomena of all this, you find that there is some kind of awareness in us which permeates through both the awake, dream and the deep sleep consciousness state. That Mandukya calls it as Turiya, the fourth state, though it permeates through all. It is not a separate one, it is there in your waking state, in your dreaming state and deep sleep state. So, for you to understand easily, I will give you a couple of examples. One is your movie screen. Movie screen is there. Morning you have a morning show, which may be a horror movie. Then you have a first show. It may be a hilarious fun movie, and in the evening there may be a tragedy movie. But does this action, does the happiness or does the tragedy, are they affecting the screen? They don't affect the screen. It's like a movie. So if you get into this, I'll tell you the technique in 2 minutes, how to get that, how to harness that consciousness. then what all is happening looks to you like a movie. This I am telling you from practice. It is not theory I am trying to preach out. This is very much easy technique when I tell you the technique I am telling you. The only thing is you need to apply every day. You can't get into that consciousness like that. First day you may be there for 1 minute, 2 minutes. Slowly as you progress, you develop that kind of a detachment. When somebody comes, you sit in a director's office, somebody comes and calls you all kind of names, or there is a big strike, still you watch it like a movie. So that you have seen very recently. So that's it. It's another example is suppose you are a station master. So there will be a express will come on to the Tirupati railway station. There will be a lot of bus, lot of people getting in, getting down. You see, it is like a wakeful consciousness. The station master is watching all what is happening. Then after some time, this thing goes off and another goods train comes. Then it is still, he will watch, there is not so much activity, some basal activity he will watch. After some time goods also goes, there is nothing, only empty station. Still the station master is watching what is. So you are like that station master. So you just watch what is happening without getting involved into either with the express or with this one or with the empty kind of a. Another similar small example is, imagine a fresh lake, freshwater lake where you can see clear water and the under surface is sea with all this whatever algae and all. Now daytime, blazing sun comes, you will see the reflection of the sun in it. Then in the evening towards the twilight zone, you see that light dropping and you can see that brightness in the sky and all reflecting in the lake. Third is, the night becomes dark, you can see the stars, dark sky and stars reflecting it. But the lake remains the same. Imagine your consciousness like that lake and see what is happening through these states of awake, dream and deep sleep. Now that's enough of theory. How to get it into practice? So Mandukya gives you a technique wherein the first thing you concentrate after some basic pranayama and other things to make you inward. Because right now if you sit, your mind is going out, senses are going out. So you do some kind of a pranayama and some chanting of Om and you interiorize yourself, then concentrate on the right eye. I mean, there is a logic for all that, so that will become a full class on Mandukya, so I don't deal with it. I just tell you the technique. You chant Om 3 times. Then there is a pause after the 3 times. Then reflect on this. Say that I am not this physical body. So my wife, my children, my this one, they are all only related to this physical body, not to my true original self. This is called, I don't go into further details, I just tell you this much. Then second stage, you come to your throat, imagine a half moon there, then again chant 3 times Omkara, and then you say, I am not my mind, I am not my remembrances, I am not my projections, whatever is happening in the dream or my prejudices or expectations, all that I am not that. So you go to your heart level, chant Om again 3 times, say, I am not that consciousness which watches the deep sleep. I am not even that. I am more deeper. Whatever are deposited in that my subconscious mind, I am not worried about all those, my past feelings, trauma, etc. I detach from that. So who am I? I am the consciousness which is watching all these things. The conscious mind, the dreamy state and the deep say, but I'm not part of it. I'm only enlightening. Like the light lights the room. It doesn't touch you, me, or anything. Similarly, I am that consciousness, so I am beyond all this. And my basic form, that consciousness, the nature of the consciousness is Sat, Chit and Ananda. That's what you find in the popular poem of Adi Shankaracharya called Siddhananda Rupa Sivoham Sivoham. So you take that itself as a mantra and chant for a few minutes, then remain silent. And try this as an experimental basis for 1 week every day. It may not take more than 10 minutes. Ideally, if you can do in the morning and evening. After 1 week, you see your own family members, your own friends in the working place will find a difference in you. Not only you, but the difference will be visible to people around you. Because you detach and start seeing it. This has a profound impact in palliative care. You can teach this kind of a meditation to them. Their amount of requirement for the antidepressants, their amount of requirement for analgesics and anxiolytics, all that drastically comes down, and they lead a much more happier life. So being in SVIMS, you have a unique opportunity with your Vedic University, Sanskrit University around. So explore this Indian knowledge systems. That is what they have coined a fancy term for it. So explore these Indian knowledge systems and enrich palliative care so that may Lord Venkateshwara bless SVIMS as one of the best palliative centers in the country. Thank you very much for your patience.